going on, Monty?
Happy Monday, Carl. Good to see you.
Happy Monday. I forgot it was Monday already.
Yeah.
Great to see you, man.
After missing out last week, had our little replay. That kind of inspired. I think maybe that's what inspired you today, Carl.
That's what inspired.
Last week's acronym replay. Thought, hey, we haven't done an acronym in a while.
Leads to another acronym.
Let's take some action.
Let's take some action. And also, welcome to another edition of Get Found
and Be Seen.
That's right, and be seen. And yes, we are excited to be back. Although those replays are really good, actually. So I don't want to downplay those, but it's always best to be live.
Absolutely.
Live in the flesh or live in the screen.
Live in the screen.
And today, I saw one.
You did. You had one little one there.
I think I have an idea of what it could be, though. I think it's the whole idea of the recording or the live stream.
Oh,
but cool. Tech. What are you gonna say? Tech.
What the tech?
Well, what the tech. And so today we're gonna talk about a cool acronym called ACTION. Action, taking action, so important, right? That's been important for us. That's been one of our themes, actually, right? When did you say, Monty?
Yeah, specifically imperfect action. Although it doesn't always have to be imperfect. Although, is there such a thing as perfect action? I don't know. Somewhere in the middle. That'd be fine.
I guess you could say that because if something's like going really well and you took action, you feel so great about it. You're like, you know what? That was perfect. You could justify that.
I'll take it.
I'll take it. I'll take it too. So yes, today we're talking about that. And specifically speaking, when it comes to presenting on camera, whether you're presenting for a course, which is super important. That's been a theme for us, right?
Yes.
For the last few months. And or if you might be on a Zoom, you might be in a mastermind, you might be doing a short, even a simple short. All that's important. Taking action is important. And this with this acronym, we're gonna get down to it. We're gonna dive in with this acronym.
Well, start us out, Carl. Where are we starting at?
I will start us out. So, let me just say this. It's important to exude action. I like that. I'm not sure if you saw it too, Monty, but I said action method. Ooh. That was action method. Why not? And so as far as the A, it's important to always remind yourself to present with confidence. Confidence, when you say confidence, like, okay, well, someone might say, how can I get that? Well, first of all, it's a choice to make. It's a decision to make to be confident and present with confidence when you're presenting, because one, there's so many things. One, your audience needs to get the value from you. So that helps you to understand your why. Your audience, they're waiting, and sometimes they don't even realize it. They're sometimes subconsciously waiting to receive value from you. So it is important to show up with confidence. And with that being said, you're gonna, I love that. Oh, thank you for that. And so you're gonna feel nervous sometimes. I know for me, even as a performing artist for 36 years, I still get nervous when I get before a crowd or if I come before a camera. Other times, I'm cool. I'm totally confident. And sometimes it's just when I'm exhausted from all the performing. You have no choice. You're just tired in your mind. But even if I'm nervous, it's okay. I can still make the conscious choice to show up, even though if I feel nervous, and make that choice to be confident in my presentation. It's important because if you don't, it's kind of like showing up to something or showing up and driving and you forget your wallet. You don't want to do that. You want to have your wallet and your license when you're driving. So if you show up with that mindset of being confident, that does so much for you. Once you make that choice, you kind of get more into the motion of it. If it's in the forefront of your mind, okay, confidence. That's one thing I do. Can you relate to any of that, Monty?
Yeah, I'm thinking always is kind of another way of saying consistent. Be consistent.
Yes.
And so even in your example, it's like, oh, well, you're driving. Well, you always want to have your license with you. You want to consistently have your license with you. So
Right.
when you're going to show up on camera, you want to consistently be yourself, consistently be
Right.
confident.
Right. And there's so much to unpack in that. I love when you said be yourself. That's part of being confident, because there's no one else like you on this planet. You might as well show people who the you is. The you.
The you.
The you, the real you. I like playing with words like that. The you, the real you.
Yeah.
Because you have something special to give. And there's some reason that people were drawn to you anyway. That shows up for everyone in some point of their relationships. Even if you feel like you might be an introvert, that's okay. You have something valuable to give. So always consistent. I love that word you use too, consistent.
Yep.
So important. So important. So you want to think about that. How that's the question for you. How can I always show up with confidence? How can I always, you can look at it this way. How can I put my confidence in my pocket and walk out the door or walk onto the screen? When you ask yourself the question, as opposed to, oh my gosh, I'm going to freak out. I'm going to freeze. I can't believe it. Okay. 3, 2, 1. You could replace that thought with the thought of being confident and showing up with confidence. Whether you might have a mental thought or a mental note of let me put confidence in my pocket. Okay, here we go. For me, I have a confidence cue. I love that. I have a confidence cue. I'll do this. I'll clap and I do this. That means focus. That means it's go time.
Whoa, didn't have that on silent.
It could be a ringer. It could be it could be an alarm. It could be. I'm glad that showed up, Monty, because it could be an alarm. You could literally block out time to say, you know what? Confidence, confidence time, confidence block, whatever. Any kind of cue you can give yourself to show up with confidence, that's going to help you. Guarantee you.
And that's the C. I put it up there because you were right on target. Confidently.
Yes.
Because we were in the acronym saying always be confident and confidently present yourself.
Confidently. See, I love how you tied it together. Ooh. Yep. We use the word confident twice. Confidently. Yes. And you want to be assertive, show confident. You want to be assertive when you're showing up. The people need that authority from you when you show up with the third. All of us show up in some way confident. We may not relate it to on camera. We may relate it to more something that might be in our wheelhouse. So if you're in an office and you're able to confidently organize a schedule together, that's your wheelhouse. That's your thing. You could take that same application and put it towards confidence on camera. Sometimes it's easy to disconnect certain things. Like I might do one thing and then I do another thing in life, and it's disconnected. But I can make a conscious choice to make a connection. Whatever's going to give you a cue to help you get there to that destination, let it work for you.
I like that. I like what you said there on that with, here's a situation that I'm very confident in. Here's a situation that I don't feel confident in. Now, if I can take the key elements from this and apply them to that, I can become more confident very quickly.
Yes, I love that. And I love what you said too. And even ask yourself, what are the key elements? Like sometimes life goes by so fast. We're not thinking, we're not being intentional about thinking the things that help set us up for success already. And that's the cool thing about coaching, because that's what we do. We help you connect the dots for things that you already know, and we help you to amplify those things. See what I did right there?
Indeed.
Amplification. So yeah, bring that assertiveness, and your own abilities. You have these abilities. Identify your abilities and how you might apply it in other areas of your life and bring it over to this avenue. Definitely works for you. That's a hack for you. That's a hack that some coaches may not want you to have.
But you just segued pretty much. So we'll just put it right up there. Take charge.
take charge.
Pretty much what you were just saying there
Mm-hmm.
of intent. That's another
Right.
word that we really, really like is intent.
Mm-hmm.
And take charge is kind of another form of intent.
Right. You want to take charge. And were you gonna say something?
I was just going to say that by taking charge, you can take control of your confidence. You're in control by taking charge rather than being subjected to whatever's coming at you.
Right. And it's interesting because you said take charge, and that's a big deal. That is super important because that's one of those things where some people may kind of say, well, it's not that you may not be, you may not think about it. But if you're super intentional about saying, how can I take charge of this situation? How can I take charge of me being in front of the camera? What are some things I can do to take charge of being in front and presenting, whether it's going with my notes or, speaking off the cuff, whether it's looking directly into the cameras to make sure, leaning in, make sure I communicate. All that is taking charge. I think about this, Monty, and I've been thinking about this a lot. Leadership, taking charge. When you are in that position to lead or take charge, you are creating an environment. We're always creating environments, even when we're nervous. If I shrink back and I decide to be nervous, I'm creating an environment of nervousness. Why? I'm going to make other people feel nervous, right? But if I take charge and create the environment, right, of leadership, if I create the environment of the information that I've been given that I have and sharing it with the world and confidently doing it, and of course, have fun with it. That's different. That's a whole different game. That's me showing up and taking charge, creating that environment. That's what I think about when I think about leadership and taking charge.
Yeah, I like that what you said on having fun. I think that's kind of the measurement that you have fully succeeded, because I don't feel like you can have very much fun if you don't feel confident.
Right.
Not saying that maybe you can't, but I'm pretty sure that those are tied together a little bit.
Right.
Less confidence, less fun. So it's actually
Totally.
not this. It's kind of more like this.
Right. Right. And the cool thing is everyone has that ability. That's the thing. So when we get these positions where we're nervous or what have you, we easily forget that we have the ability to have fun, with your confidence. And that's when the magic happens. That's what I love about coaching. Like what I do with coaching, Monty, the magic happens there. That's why a lot of times I'm silly, I'm goofy, because I know that in my leadership, as I take charge, I'm giving people permission to either do the same or to at least start the process. Or if they don't want to go goofy, they could go however they want, but they feel more free to show up as their natural selves.
Relaxed.
Or if you're like me, so super amped up and amplified.
Well, you can be amplified and relaxed, because the relaxed part is the inner. You can be amped and all kinds of stuff, but I don't know. I see it as two different levels. And the relaxed part is, how do I feel about this environment that has been created for me?
Right.
And amped up can just be, I'm charged, I'm ready, I'm going.
Right. Like how I got amped up about that take charge part.
Exactly. And it's interesting how all three of these things tie together. We're talking about be yourself.
Right.
And again, if you can be yourself, and that helps you be confident, and therefore you can take charge and ultimately have fun.
Right.
Tie it all together.
I love how you said be yourself, because for a lot of, let's keep it real. There are a lot of people who don't feel comfortable being themselves. Like, what do you do in that situation when you I don't know how to be. And it's not so much they don't feel comfortable being themselves. They may not feel comfortable being themselves in this arena.
Right. We were talking about that before. I feel comfortable here, but I don't feel comfortable here.
Right. So, being comfortable, it's like, well, how, you ask yourself the question, how can I feel comfortable? And you bring it back, like we mentioned, bringing those tools back. You want to think about that like a tool. What are some things that work well for me here and work well? I'm not going to be redundant, but it's super important to be able to think about that when you don't feel confident, So absolutely.
Shout out to John. Saw John
Shout out
Judge
to
there. Say
John.
hi.
John Judge, what's going on? So, yeah.
All right, where are we at here? This is
Initiative. I. So we got the A, the C, the T. Give me an I. Initiative. You want to take initiative. Now, I tell you what, this will help you out if you take initiative to practice your presentation, or if you're doing a short or whatever type of video you're doing, you want to practice.
So an initiative, I'm kind of looking at that. It's like, okay, taking charge and initiatives might be confused like the same thing. But I think taking charge is specifically on an event, a specific event.
Right.
And initiatives is more planning out multiple events.
Right. And also taking charge, it's like, I think about that. You might be in front of the camera, in front of an audience. Taking initiative is you're taking initiative to work on that, your inner work, which is the preparation for the event. I also think about that as well. You got to put the time into practice. And that's a big deal, Monty. And what were you going to say?
Oh, I was just gonna rant a little, I guess, maybe. The initiatives is like the plan. Yeah, you pretty much just said that. It's the plan to the event. It's my overall strategy where the taking charge is the tactic.
Ooh.
Because strategy is usually the overlying thing that's going on, and then the specific actions are the individual tactics being used.
I love that. I love how you break things down. See, I feel like that. I'm cool with being redundant because you're always getting something new. Maybe I'm an old soul. I don't know, but I love how you explain that.
It's looking at it from different angles, because sometimes sometimes it's because somebody doesn't quite see the angle, and other times it's because they see that angle, but now you've opened up another one.
Yeah.
And just having an open mind on things is powerful.
Right.
So I enjoy, and that's part of my business history, is in trying to help people with tech and with cars before that, and mechanics and tires and things, of trying to, how can I explain this in a way that they understand, because they don't have the knowledge that I have.
Right. That's true. And that's important. And even in this space, we find it's very important, because the more you can do that, the more you could explain and make things clear.
And so much in this space is not cut and dry. It's not like a tire. It's like, well, a tire, it has substance, it has a size, it has a tread pattern, it has all these things, but concepts of things, the difference between one word and another, an initiative versus taking charge, and then how they apply to somebody's world.
Right.
So by looking at it from a bunch of different angles, I don't feel it's as redundant unless you just look at it from the same angle and say the same thing. That's redundant. But looking at it from another angle is a new view, or a different view.
Yeah, that's so true. And so when I think about practicing, Monty, I think this is important as well. And this is what I learned from the entertainment industry. You want to also, I talked about creating an environment, when you're taking charge, right? But also when you're practicing and you're taking initiative, creating an environment for yourself, when you're practicing, making it live for yourself. For a lot of people, including myself, sometimes I could kind of get lazy with my practicing. I like to make my practicing an event. So what I mean by that is I'm, learning how to put my whole self into my practice when no one's in front of me, when no camera's there, or even if I'm doing something live on stage. How can I make that moment or moments as I'm practicing live, because the more that comes out of me, then the more I'm going to be prepared as I get ready for the event, the on-camera event, that is.
Yeah. And I think that from that other point of view angle, it's similar to an athlete trying to do their golf swing or their baseball bat swing or something that's physical. If you're inside and there's things that can break, you can't give it your all necessarily. So that in that environment, being able to practice in a way that is real.
Right.
So if you're swinging the bat and hitting the ball, they make these net things so that you can actually hit it as hard as you want, and the net catches it and rolls it back to you.
Right.
Or the same with the golf swing. They have computer generated ones that tell you where it would have gone, because it can calculate the trajectory. And so it gives you that incentive of, oh, I really do need to practice at normal level, not just go through the motions. And I think doing that on video, it could be the same way. You could very easily say, I'm going to practice, and you half tech it.
Yeah. Yep. Love that.
You don't give 100% because it's just practice. But then when you come to the real thing, you never practice the real thing.
Right.
That's what it comes down to.
That's good. I love that.
And that comes from the experience.
Absolutely.
I have done practices of things, presentations to groups, and I didn't practice at full tilt.
Right.
So when I got to the presentation, I'd only practiced for 78%. I had to work hard to get up there into the 90%. And I don't think I got to 100% on that presentation.
Right.
So now in hindsight, I see that it's like, man, I needed to have presented that or practiced that as if I was actually presenting, not just practicing.
Right.
So creating that environment, create the environment of reality.
Yeah. That's so important. I mean, you like, I love how you gave the sports analogy as well. Now, of course, I have plenty of analogies from the entertainment world. And it fits so right. And what I love, the benefit of that is, as you do it, the feeling you get from practicing, that helps to boost your confidence. You feel confident, even if you're not used to the mechanics of the camera, right? Even if you're not used to it, you feel more confident because you practice your stuff. And then you do, and then at the end of the presentation, you feel so much better. I felt so much better when I put the work into practice, when I created the environment and I made that an event, like even making that the event, like making those series of practices like the event, just made me so much more ready, heightened my preparation by 100x.
Yep. That's exactly what I was describing, is that feeling there of, hey, if I practice at 100%, I can give it 100%. If I practice at 80%, I'm going to have to work hard to give it 100% because I've only practiced 80. The last 20, I'm going to have to improvise.
Right. It's so
and
true.
Not that improvising is bad, but if you're already given 100%, then improvising is easy, not work.
It is. And there's more, and that accelerates your growth because there's much more to learn. Because there's always going to be places where you're going to improvise. It's always going to happen. Nothing's going to be perfect. What was that?
That's another good I word, improvise.
Improvise. Yes, indeed. One of my favorite words. Freestyle.
Overcome.
Freestyle.
Boom.
Boom. So yes, overcoming nervousness. Woo!
It all ties together.
All
ties together. We just talked about ways to overcome nervousness.
And it's an opportunity. I think looking at nervousness, you can look at it as an opportunity to overcome. Opportunity to overcome. I love that.
When's the last a way to be you?
Yeah.
I think when I fully embraced my nuances
Oh, wait a minute.
Nervousness.
Oh, wait right there. Ooh, I don't want to. I love that. I just want to say I love that. Go ahead. I'll keep going. Sorry.
I fully embrace my nuances.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's me. I'm just being me. I no
Yeah.
longer need to worry about presenting myself in a certain way. It's like
Yeah.
telling the truth. or not or when you tell a lie, you have to remember the lie. You have to remember all these details about something that isn't natural.
Mm-hmm.
So embracing my nuances, I be natural, and I don't worry about it. I know there are people that are gonna not resonate with me.
Mm-hmm.
That's okay. There's 9 billion people on the planet.
Right on. Oh, that's so good, Monty. Embrace your nuances. Woo-wee.
I give you permission, Carl.
Thank you. Because you know what I was thinking.
I know, absolutely. You need to use that's the title of something, if nothing else.
Dude, that is so good. That is okay. Well, let's keep talking. I'm gonna write that down though, Monty. Right? No, I'm not typing it right down. Yes, even live. That's right. Oh man, that's so good. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. As far as being an artist, I'm looking at my other screen over here. So I switched my screens. As far as being an artist, that's one of the things I value so much now. I wish I valued when I was younger. Embracing the unique things about me, the nuances. And because we live in a society where people want to keep things simple, which there is a place for that. It's a balance. It's an and thing. It's not this or that, it's an and thing. But there's so many different layers and nuances to us. That's beautiful. It's art. And if we can embrace those, it only adds uniqueness to what you bring, the content that you bring to people, the value you bring to your audience. I think this is my favorite one out of action. But we haven't even got to the last one yet. I get it, but
no, not yet, but
not
put
yet.
It in there.
Yeah.
It's actually we just already we've segued each one. I tell you.
We have.
Nervousness. That's overcoming nervousness. I guess you could say it's being redundant. No, it's different angles.
Right.
Different angles. You need to be aware of nervousness. Identify why it makes you nervous, and then nullify it.
Right.
There's the end. Nullify nervousness. How do you do that? I'll just identify where it comes from.
Right.
And then plug it up. It's like a little leak.
Plug it up.
Need to be there.
Oh, might I add something to that too, Monty?
Absolutely.
Wonder if, or what if you could embrace that nervousness and transform it to a whole other energy? What if you could transform that into excitement? Now, as I said, you know how they talk about with the brain and everything, can't always identify which specific energy is which specific energy. Some people may agree with that. Some people may disagree. From experience, I can attest to this. You can use your nervous energy and turn it into a different energy. You could turn it into an energy of excitement.
I like that because what I was saying might not hold true for everybody. Because you just mentioned that. You just said sometimes you don't know where your nervousness is coming from. So if you can identify it and plug it off, great. If you can't, Carl just suggested a whole new approach of just taking that energy and redirecting it. And as long as you just do it as yourself and not try and make something new out of it, just say, hey, I got this nervousness. Nervousness is making adrenaline. So since I've got this adrenaline, I can either bottle it up and be nervous about it, or I can direct it into my presentation.
That's right. And that's right. That's true. And it's not, and I know for me, like this is my standpoint. It's not even necessarily even saying, hey, you know what, guys, I'm nervous. No, you don't have to say that. Some people say you can say that. It's okay to say that. I'm from the belief of saying, I'm not saying that. I'm just going to grab that bad boy, grab that energy, and I'm going to switch it. I'm going to transfer it myself. And you're going to get something different from me, which is uniquely me. But from my experience, it turns into more energy, more excitement, or whatever energy you might bring. You know what I mean?
Embracing that nuance.
Embrace. There it is again. Embrace
There
that
it is
nuance.
again. It's like, yeah, I know I'm nervous. I'll be nervous. That's me.
That's me. Let's go.
I bet you we could probably find people in history that had a nervous appearance that were still well respected and
Yeah,
I'm sure that is a thing.
totally. If I may too, I want to share something from my experience, even as with coaching, with movement and dance. And I was thinking about this too, because like even my presentations, I've been merging this, my on camera or even stage presence. It applies to stage presence as well. So when I'm teaching dance, right, Monty, or movement, both the same thing. Movement might be more so for actors. The first 3 seconds, I can get people into a state of excitement without them even realizing it. And there's something about when you use the tools you have, you use your body, you put your whole self into it, whether you're in front of a camera and you do some kind of pose, right? It brings your energy towards what you're doing. Like I've never, ever taught a dance class where I'm like 5, 6, 7, 8, and someone comes up and dances like that. No, they're on, even if they can't explain it. And that
would be an interesting experiment. Would be to go into a group and it's like, okay, let's go. 1, 2, 3. Recording it, and then go into the next session and be like, all right, let's go. 1, 2, 3, and see the total differences between. And
exactly.
that gets with initiatives and overcoming mindset. It all ties together.
Yes, it does. But it's powerful because that's my body taking action, me making a choice, even if I'm nervous, making a confident choice to put my body into it, and my emotions catching up. And sometimes things go so fast, I don't have enough time to even think about it until the end of the moment and I say, oh, that worked out well.
That's another great tactic to overcome nervousness is take action.
Take action.
Just take action so that you don't have time to think about the nervousness. Because if we break this down, what is nervousness? Nervousness is just a little bit of worry. It's just a little bit of unknown. It's just thought process.
Right.
It's not actually a physical, tangible thing. It doesn't actually have any substance to do anything.
Right.
It's just a feeling. Well, if we don't have time for it, our mind will automatically be like, yeah, that's irrelevant. I don't have time for that.
Right.
That's a pretty interesting tactic right there.
And I love that you use the word irrelevant because that's a strong word, right? But the way the body works is like, say, it came up again. Whoa! I'm not even using an iPhone.
Party.
Oh, I know what it is. I have a feature on with my app. I was playing with it today.
Aha.
Is this gonna work? Oh, it didn't work. Okay.
Only part of it.
Only part of it. Okay. Oh well, mind of its own. I forgot what I was gonna say. I'm close though, as far as my thought. But yeah, it's just a powerful thing. It's something that we want to encourage. We'd encourage the audience to think about. And maybe this is where we could sum things up. We could keep it simple.
Keeping it simple, boy.
Keeping it simple.
It all ties together. I think the part about maybe I summed it up there. Embrace your nuances. That kind of sums it up. And taking action. That's what the whole acronym is about. So taking action and embracing your nuances so that you can be yourself.
Right.
Or maybe it's embrace your nuances. I don't know. You could do it in any order, but those are the three key points: be yourself, embrace your nuances, and take action.
Take action. Take action because there's so many benefits to you, and you won't regret it. What do you have to lose to grow? Don't be afraid of growth. Boom.
I'm speechless.
There you have it. This is a fun one, Monty.
Yeah, that really flowed together, especially since, you know, you sent that thing over to me and I'm like, okay. And now I'm reading it.
Bam, there it is. Improvise, freestyle.
Yeah, well, it's just being yourself. It's coming down to we have fun doing the show. We're talking about a topic that inspires us and motivates us, and then we're drawing on it from our own experience.
There it is. There it is.
And telling our story.
Telling our story. So, Monty, let me ask you a question. If people want to understand, and if they want to know, like, how to, you know, create online courses, and they're struggling with different platforms and they're confused and all this mundane minutia. Did I say that right? Is just in their way. How can you where can they go to make things simple with creating online courses?
Well, I think the starting point for any entrepreneur in any endeavor is to cleanly identify your ideal client. So right now, I would say the idealclientmap.com would be the best place to go to I don't know, to start. The best place to go to for the beginning. Start at the beginning. That's what I was trying to say. It's the best place to go to start at the beginning. It's a little odd and redundant sounding, but I'm so strong on the beginning part because I feel like if I had known this stuff that I now know, that my journey would have been a lot easier. I would have struggled a lot less.
Well, that's a different angle.
But how about you, Carl? If people are struggling with this whole, let's see. I already deleted it out. Oh, well, I was going to put the acronym back up there. But if they're struggling with that, nervousness, confidence, camera, all those video in front of the camera type of things,
stuff.
And they're like, yeah, I hear you. You guys said some great stuff, but I need a little more coaching to make that happen for me. Where could those people go to get a little extra coaching?
Yes, indeed. Go to carlaleen.com. That is my web hub where you'll find all things Carl, but specifically speaking about confidence on camera, even presenting on stage. You can go there, look me up. Let's set something up. Let's set you up for success.
That's right. Carl is the presence king.
Presence king. That reminds me of that movie Scorpion King.
Little different.
I love that title. I love the title. I embrace it. I think it's important to have a strong presence because we all have a strong message to give, and we could all make a difference on this planet.
Absolutely.
Amen to that.
No, all the different angles. Everybody has an angle, and we need them all. We need them all. Even when we don't like them.
Oh, but however, we can learn to embrace them because there are a lot of layers to the nuance. Ooh.
Absolutely.
It's like a song. It's like a perfect song.
Plug that into the AI.
Ooh, oh. That was good. Yeah. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning in.
Have a great week.
Have a great week, everyone. Take care.
Yeah.